All right, guys, we're going to do a series of videos over Google Forms and how we set them up and things. This first one's a very basic setup of Google Forms. Um, there's numbers of ways to make Google Forms. Every teacher is going to probably do it differently, but here's how I set up and do my Google Forms. If I'm working with a unit in my class and I want to do a formative or summative assessment over whatever we're working on, I'll actually usually go into my Google Drive folder that I have for that test or that unit, whatever, and I'll create the Google form inside that. And as you can see, I've already got one here, but for training purposes, I'm going to make a new one. So I can click on New, and I can go to More, and I can go to Google Forms. It's going to automatically open up a new window for me and give me a blank form. Since this is training, I'm going to call it Training Form. And if I click up here in the left corner, it'll automatically name it for me as well, since that's what I've done. Now we have our questions. Now you have required right here. This is something I always have turned on because why would I have a question on there if I didn't want them to answer it, right? So if I click on these little dots, I can go to preferences, and I can always make questions required. I can also make them all worth 1 point when it's a quiz. And I always want to have collect email addresses turned on. Now we're going to talk about that right now. In the settings of my Google form, though, that's the little gear icon. As you can see, collect email address is already turned on. I don't care if they get a receipt or not. Require sign in. This limits it to your Perry County students. And if it's a test, you don't want them to take more than once, you can limit it to one response. But come over here to quizzes and just click on make this a quiz. And there's ways to make that not have to be done too. But this, it's just something I usually do. And you will know as a teacher whether or not that's turned on because you won't have an answer key option. If we turn it back off, you will see that the answer key now is gone. So it's not a quiz, it's more of just a questionnaire at that point. So you come back to quizzes, turn it on, save. And now this is, for your formative or summative assessments, Google Forms has numerous types of questions. What color is the sky? Okay, so blue, gray, red, yellow. And now, as the teacher, I can kind of go in and take the quiz myself, and I'm going to mark the right answer. And then the student, when they see their side of it, this is what it's going to look like, and they can just do this, okay? Now, let's say that I'm ready to add a new question. I can add a question. Now, let's say that on this question, I want to put in a picture that goes along with the question. Well, let's say I wanted to show a beach ball. I can find that one. I can click insert. Now, in my question, I have a beach ball, but I don't have a question yet. So, what is this? Okay. Obviously, this is very simple, but beach ball, shovel, I don't know. So as the teacher, I can go into my answer key, click that, I'm done. Now, if you look at the student preview, this is what they're seeing, okay? And we're good there. So that's multiple choice questions, but let's say that we want them to answer the question, who wrote, I could type today, Harry Potter. All right, and let's say that you just want them to have a typed out answer instead of a multiple choice. You can choose paragraph for longer answers, short answer for short answers, and you can do that. Now, answer key, you don't have to actually do anything here. You can add feedback, like you can actually. There's ways to go in and tell it to match exact text, which is not suggested because it will mark everything wrong if somebody doesn't type in something right. But you can add answer feedback here to say, remember to look at the front of your book. All right, so the next video is going to cover the different types of questions besides just multiple choice and the short answer or paragraph questions. So be sure to check out video number 2 of the basics of Google Forms. Thanks for watching, guys.